Test. Okay, good. It's just a million miles away. We'll just bring my mic a little bit closer so you can hear my beautiful voice. Yeah, this little thing needs to be cleaned. Okay, having said that. Oh, where am I? Hold on a second. There I am. There's my beautiful body. And there's the mask. Perfect. What's that? Okay. What's this? All right. Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I am coming back at you with another wargaming and miniature video. And in today's video, we're going to continue on, or I should say, we're going to have another Wargaming Weekly. Yeah, I was going to do one yesterday. I had planned to do it, but then there's so many things that just came up in my life that I just canceled it. So, and normally I don't do a Wargaming Weekly on Wednesday because I prepare for my Traveler game during this time. I give myself a couple hours to get everything ready. But today I feel like I can stream and prepare. So you can see I've got a lot of crap on my table here. And it's mainly because we're going to be working on my British paratroopers. I'm going to do a couple of colors on them today. I don't know how far into them I'll be able to get, but we'll get pretty far. But I also want to work on some 15 millimeter armor that I've had sitting on my shelves for a good amount of time. We want to go ahead and get some of those knocked out. But in the meantime, I want to show you some of the stuff I just got in recently and just talk about it a little bit. Okay, first of all, I'm planning on doing a Fallschirmjäger battalion for O Group, right? As some of you might know, I've got about 8 battalions that I want to have when I'm done. Well, maybe let's count them real quick. Let's see how many O Group battalions I really want to have. I want to have an American infantry battalion. I want to have an American airborne battalion. Okay, there you go. That's 2, right? I want to have a German grenadier battalion, a German SS battalion. I don't have to say battalion, you get it. German SS. And Fallschirmjäger, or German airborne. And I want to have British infantry, British para, okay, so seven battalions. American infantry para, British infantry para, German infantry para, and SS. So that's 7. And I'm contemplating, it's been pulling at my heartstrings to do a Russian battalion. But that'll be probably one of the last things I do. Now, to supplement all of those battalions, I have to do armored vehicles, anti-tank guns, artillery pieces, trucks, tow vehicles, half-tracks, etc., right? So now I don't need a ton of those, but because there's 7 different battalions, that winds up being a ton of those. Okay, so like I don't need more than maybe 2 to 4 Shermans and 2 Fireflies, maybe maybe 2 M10s, maybe 2 M5s. But when it gets to the half tracks or the troop transports, you need about 6 per battalion, and then maybe 7, just depending. And then there's engineer platoons or engineer companies that you can make to supplement, which I plan to do some engineer platoons. So yeah, there's just a lot of little like supplemental pieces. So so having said all that with that sidetrack, um, just making sure I'm live. It looks like I am live. Been live for about 10 minutes. Okay, perfect. I was shopping around, just kind of looking around, and I saw this Fallschirmjäger assault rifle platoon. This is a Fallschirmjäger platoon that has STG 44s. And I noticed that in O Group, you can convert one of your companies into an assault rifle company. And Flames of War platoons, that's what this is, Flames of War platoons wind up being pretty close to an equivalent of a company in O Group. Yeah. So, like this comes with 6 squad bases, right? Okay. So, if you think about it, and those squad bases have 4 figures on them. So 6 times 4, what do you got? 24, right? 12 and 12. Yeah. No, wait. No, hold on. Let me back up. Yeah, 6 times 4, 24. Okay. So there's 24 figures and then 3 more figures for your unit leader. So you're looking at like 27, not counting the Panzerschreck. So 27 is super close to an O Group company because an O Group company has 3 times 9, which is 27, right? And then an extra couple for the company commander. And then what I like to do is a few extra for the combat patrols. Well, I can intermix regular Fallschirmjägers, with MP40s or Car 98s. I would use the Car 98 guys maybe as the combat patrols, or just use regular Fallschirmjäger combat patrols from my regular battalion, because if I convert the platoon to assault rifles, I don't have to worry about the company commander being assault rifles, and I don't have to worry about the combat patrols being assault rifles. All I really need to worry about is the actual platoon. And I think, what was my math on that? Was it 27? I think it was. And then 27 for the platoon. So it works out perfect. All right. So I'm thinking about when I do my Fallschirmjäger battalion, I think I'm going to do a 3 company battalion normal, but I'm going to make an extra company of assault rifles just in case I ever need to interchange or intermix my assault rifles into the company. Now, I'm not sure, but I think I can get a Delta company, and so I could technically field 4 companies but I don't know if I want. I mean, that would be cool to do that, but no rush is what I'm trying to say. I'm not in a rush to do these Fallschirmjägers, but I kind of am. All right. So in addition to that, I had I don't know if I want to pull this from the underside, but I am going to. I had this Fallschirmjäger company, and I'm going to use this to make my Fallschirmjäger battalion in O group. It is almost exactly perfect, the number of figures. I think I need 106. I'm doing my math. I already did it on a spreadsheet, but I think I need 106 to do an O group battalion, and this has 110 number of figures that I can use. There's a couple extra figures in here that I'm probably not going to be able to use, but that's okay. I can use them somewhere else. Yeah, this comes with 26 infantry teams. It says 18 squads. And then you've got the 4 leaders stands. You could do the math there with the 18 times 4, right? And then 2 of these. So that's 6. That's 12 figures just with that. And then 18 times 4. I did the math. I counted them. I went through each little stand or each little sprue, and it looks like it's about 110 models. So with this and with this, I should be able to make 4 companies, right? Or at least real close to 4 companies. Now I have I have another blister pack that's a Fallschirmjäger platoon, right? It's the Fallschirmjäger platoon. So this is probably, I mean, it's been opened. There's no card, but I think these are all the Car 98 guys. And I think there's probably like 30 something, 40 something figures in there, probably more, probably 50. And so I considered using this as a company, but since I already had the Fallschirmjäger company, go ahead and do that and then not use this. This is on the website. Okay. Great. So I got that assault rifle platoon in. Now I have some heavy machine guns and some Fallschirmjäger mortars en route. So that should be here in the week, right? Okay. I also picked up and got in a few days ago this 105 field artillery battery, which, as you know, I use each gun to represent a fire mission. Now, the Americans are almost always on the attack in Normandy. And if they are, they're going to get 3 fire missions. I think they have an option in divisional support where they can add a fire mission. So keeping all 4 of these for the Americans would be really cool. Now, FYI, the assault rifle platoon and the 105 battery and this training company, I did an what's in the box video. I just recorded that last night, but they're not edited up. They're not up yet, but they'll be up in the next few days. And actually, that Fallschirmjäger company and the Fallschirmjäger platoon, I did what's in the boxes on those years ago. So, but they're on the channel if you wanted to watch those. Okay, so I also picked up this German starter army for Flames of War. Now, understand, I don't play Flames of War. I'm not really that familiar with Flames of War. It seems like it would be a really cool game to play, but there's just some things about it that rub me the wrong way. Mainly the range of the weapons. That's the main thing that rubs me the wrong way. Everything else looks like it'd be just fine. I can modify the range of the weapons, but and it when I played it way back when, probably 20 years ago or whatever, I played it when it was like first or second edition. It was a long time. I think it's in fourth edition right now. But when I played the game, it reminded me of Warhammer. It felt like it was Warhammer World War II, because even though there is a Warhammer World War II, which I actually owned, which was a man-to-man Warhammer 40K game just with World War II weapons and armors and stuff. But you roll a ton of dice to hit, and then you roll a ton of dice for armor saves, and I don't know, it just felt like it was it just felt like Warhammer. Okay, but I picked up this tank training company. Now, understand, I wasn't looking at the tank training company. I wasn't looking at the name or considering like how many points this would be to be on the table for Flames of War, or what is the effectiveness of each of the models, or I didn't have any concern about that at all. I was only looking at the contents of the box. And I noticed there's a couple of Tiger 2s. There's 3 Panthers, 3 Panzer 4s, 3 Panzer 2s. There's 3 Vesps and 3 Hetzers. And then a small group of infantry. When I did the open box, not the open box, the what's in the box review, I found out that the Panthers, you could actually build Jagdpanthers if you prefer. The Hetzer, you can build as a Martyr. Martyr 3, I think is what it is. And the Vesp, you can also build as a Martyr. Martyr 2, I believe. And the Panzer 2s have 2 different styles of hull. So I don't know what the difference is. I'll have to kind of do a little review on that, or research on that. But I got it because of the variability of the armor vehicles that are in this box, because it's a great deal. This box winds up being about $5 per tank. If you buy tanks individually, they're usually like $11. Okay. It comes with another rule book, which I think I've got a dozen of these now. And then it comes with decals, which I need, and then the cards for Flames of War, which I'm not using. The cards are cool though. All right, finally, I got this box in. This box is War Bases. I got a bunch of different types of bases for a variety of different projects. Thanks for shopping at War Bases. All right, cool. All right, so let's get into some of these bases that I got, and then we can start doing some painting. All right, so I already got some of these. I just thought I'd get some more just to fill the box up, basically, and just to make sure I don't have to reorder them later. I got some 25mm circles. Every base in here I purchased at the 2mm thickness. I think 3mm is probably just a little bit too thick, and the 1mm stuff at Litco is just way too thin. So I was super excited with a 2mm. I bought some 2mm earlier, looked at them, loved them. Some of the guys on my O group battalions are on the 2mm basis. Okay, but I got these circles mainly for mainly two reasons. Mainly, any skirmish game like Bolt Action, 25mm base. All my fantasy figures going forward are going to be put on 25mm bases, circles. Half of my orcs up there are on squares. My skeletons are on squares, mainly because I was basing them up for Oathmark. And Oathmark uses a 25mm square. I've decided I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do circles. I can use that for my SPQR. I can use it for Lion Rampant. I can use it for a game that I'm planning on getting and playing called Baron's War. Mainly, I don't plan to get Baron's War until they release the fantasy book, Baron's War Fantasy. And I got a bunch of those 25s. Now, I already have a bunch of 25mm circles, but I just wanted to kind of get some war bases. All right. And I picked up some small Flames of War style size bases. I don't really need these in any shape or form or pattern. I don't need those because I have a ton of small Flames of War plastics. But I got them anyway. I don't know. I'm glutton for punishment, so I got them. All right. Continuing on. Now, this is exciting for me anyway. I have some 1.6mm Litco bases for my Napoleonics and for my Ancients, my Meg Army, and my Marshals and Generals. Meg and my Marshals and Generals are using 40mm by 20mm bases. And this is a one rank of 15mm figures. I noticed that my 1.6mm, they're kind of thin. Litco makes 0.8, and then they double it to 1.6, and then they double it again to 3mm. 3mm is just too thick, and it makes the figures look like they're standing on big blocks of wood, which they are. And the 0.8mm stuff is so thin, it looks good on the table, but you can't really rank your guys up easily. So I've been using the 1.6s because it's like a happy medium, but it's still not thick enough. So I got some 2mm, which I think I'm going to enjoy. My next group of Romans that I put together, I'm going to put them on these 2mm and see exactly how that works. Or my next group of Napoleonics. So I grabbed a few of these in anticipating of using them, but they might not be very good, but I think they are. I think they're going to be perfect, or I wouldn't have ordered them. Okay. I noticed that my inventory on my black powder 40mm squares was getting pretty low. And my inventory in the past on my black powder has all been 3mm, right? It's a 28mm model. There's 4 models on a base. So making a 3mm thickness base, it doesn't look that bad. It looks good actually, but I thought that a 2mm would be even better. So my next black powder unit I put together, I'm going to put it on 2mm bases and rock and roll from there. So I bought a few of these just to make sure I don't run out. Yeah, I think about 6 of them. 6 packs. Okay. And then speaking of, there we go. Speaking of black powder, I also got some cavalry bases, which are the 50mm. So this is a 50mm or 2-inch square. Yeah. Perfect. Also, your generals are on 40mm squares in Meg. So, okay. So I got some cavalry bases because I was definitely running out of cavalry bases. Basically, I was running out of my infantry and cavalry for black powder because there was a lot of requests for like commission work. I just finished a French. I did a Polish unit. I did a French army, and some Russians. Okay. And then I grabbed. Now these are kind of a. I got these as a theory craft, right? I got some 30mm circles, and I think I can put 2 15mm figures on there and represent company commanders for O group. Or maybe larger models, you know, larger even skirmish models. If they're a little bit over a 25mm circle, I'll put them on a 30mm circle. Okay. I ordered these ovals for bolt action, like anti-tank or artillery pieces, because I think the oval base is a better shape for the bigger guns, like a Pac 40 or even a like, I don't know, 25-pound howitzer or something like that. That would work better than those big circles that I've been using. But having said that, I went ahead and got some big circles. These are 95mm or something like that. So they're just under 4 inches. I got some of these for like a medium-sized gun, like maybe a 6-pounder or a 57 or something like that. That's what these are for. Okay. So we looked at the 20s, by 20 by 40s. I grabbed some pill bases because prone figures or cavalry or skirmish cavalry. But the last thing I'm about to show you is most important. This was the whole reason why. It's not the whole reason. Let me back up. This is not the reason why I ordered. The reason why I ordered was the ovals and to restock my black powder. But all the other bases were kind of like, they're so cheap, why not just go ahead and grab them, right? Grab them while they're available. War Bases has probably the best prices for bases out there. They kill you on shipping though, so you got to understand that shipping cost, work that, divide it up by the number of bases you get, and then that'll add to the cost of the bases. I do it, and it's still the cheapest bases out there, and I think 2mm MDF is a perfect base. I think it's a perfect base. But I grabbed these. Okay, we're gonna grab. I should have did it while I was doing it. Where is my 25 millimeter circle? Here's a bag of 25 millimeter circles. Turn this light on. Just to help with lighting down here. Okay, these are movement trays, and I got these movement trays specifically for Oathmark. It's got a base, which is a pretty damn large base, if you think about it. The base is 15 or 150 millimeters. Yeah, that's 150 millimeters by 60. So 60 by 150, but that's fine. That's irrelevant. And then there's the second piece with hopefully 25 millimeter holes that you glue onto your base. Right, and I'll have to figure out a way to line this up, use a clamp, make sure everything is perfect. But the base goes on there like that, right? And in Oathmark, you have 1 inch, your infantry are mounted on 1 inch square bases, 5 across. It should be only 5 inches. Right? Well, this is more than 5 inches. But that's okay. If my entire army is like this, then it won't be a problem. This is 5.5 inches. And I'm not going to cry about a ½ inch. It's going to make the moving of the troops so much easier. Okay. So there's some... I just imagine... I've got my orcs or dwarves or elves or whatever mounted on these 1 inch circles. And I've got this movement tray. And look at that. They fit right down inside. Okay, so, and it's flush. So, for this to work, I'm going to have to make sure that when I paint and texture and flock the movement tray, I don't get anything inside here, or I'm going to have to maybe scrape it out if I do. And then same thing with the base. If I get any kind of texturing material or flock around the outside, I'm going to have to make sure that that's clean so that these guys can fit down inside those bases. All right, so I'm going to compare the Litco movement trays to the Warbase movement trays. The Warbase movement trays kill Litco. I mean, slaughter them when it comes to cost, right? I'm just going off of the top of my head, but I think a Litco movement tray, 2 deep, 5 wide, 25 millimeter circles, I think was $15 for one tray. And it's 3 pieces. It's a top and bottom and the bottom. And it's in 3 millimeter thickness. So it would be on the table. It would be that tall, which is way too tall for my likes. The 2 mil I love, so it wins on that. It wins, oh, the cost. Okay, I got it right here. Regimental tray. For six of them, for 8.5 pounds. So you're looking at maybe £1.5 each, something like that. What is that? 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's pretty close to £1.5 each, which even in a bad day, that's like $2. So if you look at it like $2 versus $15. Now, we'll even add $1 for shipping because shipping is pretty expensive. So even if this is $3, I could get at least 6 of these. No, 5 of them. I get 5 of these trays for 1 tray at Litco. Okay. Having said all that, there is one thing that I like about the Litco trays that the war-based trays don't do, and that's Litco makes all of their bases, you know, their circle bases, they're all adjacent. Like there's a gap between each of these bases, not the Litco ones. They are flush against each other, forward and backwards. The only lip is around the outside edge. There's also this little triangle, this triangle, this triangle, this triangle. You know, they have those, but they're super small. And they're, so the bases fit down in there, but when they do, they're like touching each other. So I bet you it's about a millimeter, not a millimeter, like a centimeter smaller. So that's really a good thing, but the pros for the war base movement trays outweigh the one pro for Litco. Got 6 of these that, you know, you could think of these as 6 different regiments. I only ordered 6 because I wasn't sure, because I have about 4 more on the Litco, so that means I'll have about 10 movement trays. That's 100 figures. That's 200 figures on the table just with these. Yeah. Also, the Litco ones, I ordered some monster movement trays and cavalry movement trays. So, but what I will do is I'll probably do a video in the next few days doing a comparison of the two and speaking my mind about the Litco ones. Litco is made out of plywood, so it's not an MDF, and it is flush, like the bases are closer, but it's still not enough to override the cost and the thickness of the war bases. Okay, let's see if I can reach. Nope, I can't reach. Okay. Okay. I just saw something moving around. What was that? Just cleaning up a little bit. Yeah, you don't have to worry. I've already put all the packages out in the mail that are going out today, so I don't have to worry about that. I am expecting some Amazon packages to show up, but that's my personal stuff. Nothing for like wargaming. I don't think. Hold on, maybe. Like no glue or paint or anything like that. But yeah, I did those what's in the box videos already. So if you're interested, uh, come back and check those out once I get them published. Because they're not edited. They're not going to be published for a day or two. Okay, I'm going to take these out of these boxes. And then we're going to start painting. These are Sherman Mark V's, which are the British Sherman. What's funny is this shirt that I'm wearing has like this baggy, it's like super baggy and it gets caught on stuff. There's some M2s. I did some research on the color patterns of M2s and I thought they would be like desert color, but apparently they were also OD green. There's the M9 high-speed tractors. Can't find anywhere else. Okay. I think I need to slow down a little bit. Talking too much. And this has got to go. There we go. Too baggy. Getting caught on everything. Okay, so there is a Jedburgh team. This Jedburgh team comes with 4 figures, right? And they're like, I had to look it up. I thought that Jedburgh was like the little decoding system or whatever, but no, it's just named after some officer that put together a multinational SAS group, only the elite, you know, that kind of stuff, the highly trained. And those guys were called Jedburgh teams. And in now I mean I could put out a Jedburgh team of 4 figures just like Offensive Miniatures packages them, but I think I'm going to put another 1 or 2 figures, riflemen, with them because Bolt Action, they don't have anything called a Jedburgh team, but they do have something called an SAS intelligence team, right? And it basically lets you re-roll something once a game or something like that. I don't know. Never used them. Never used an intelligence team or an SAS army list. But I think I would put together a 6-man team and then just call it a Jedburgh team. And then in the fine print, maybe call it an intelligence squad or an intelligence team. Now you can get intelligence officers, which is just a single figure, and he accompanies your actual officer, because I don't know if you know, in Bolt Action, you have to have an officer, and it can be second lieutenant, first lieutenant, be a captain or a major. And you usually can have one senior officer, like a major or a captain, and one lieutenant, either first or second lieutenant. If memory serves me right. And you can take one of those officers and you can attach an intelligence officer to him, and it grants him the entire, it grants him the ability of a Jedburgh team. So, or an intelligence squad. So you would only do that, or I'm thinking, the only reason why you take the squad is because you want to have an actual infantry squad. Because it does everything an infantry squad does. You know, it's a bunch of riflemen running around, acting a fool. But yeah, this para, these, what do you call them? Offensive miniatures, paratroopers, they don't really align very well with bolt action, what it seems like. All right. What do we got? It's almost 10 o'clock. Okay, no worries. I do want to break at a reasonable hour. Normally I break for lunch, and then I don't come back. This time, when we break for lunch, I'm probably not going to continue painting. I'm probably going to start working on my Traveler scenario that's going to be played out tonight. I just wanted to finish that off. Okay, that is gone. Okay. Oh. Oh, wait a second. Now I know that I went over all of these guys with English uniform for their pants, but I think I totally forgot that there's a guy. I know I did because it's green. There's a guy sitting on the anti-tank gun. He's glued to the anti-tank gun. I should have painted his pants. Okay, let me put my binoculars on. Let me get my paintbrushes and other things prepared. Get rid of this needle nose. So on a commission, I just painted a bunch of Nassau. Painted 2 battalions of Nassau for this guy. They're completely fully painted, ready to go, but they're still on the popsicle stick. They're I highlighted them. I did the dull coating and everything. They're ready to go. I need to mount flags to them and I need to base them, but I'm not going to do any of that until my Litco bases come in. If I knew I needed these bases, I would have included it with the other bases that I just bought from War Bases. And I even considered going back to War Bases to order these bases, but it would have taken like 3 weeks. And I don't want my customer to have to wait. Yeah. So I went ahead and ordered them from Litco. I even requested 2-day shipping. This was like on Saturday or Sunday, and 2-day shipping, in my opinion, should have been yesterday, but I didn't get them in yet, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, so we're just going to paint that one guy. Wait a second. Every one of these guys don't, a couple of them look like I might have painted them with the Vallejo uniform color pants, but the other ones don't. Yeah, everybody's got the pants colored. Just not these guys in prone. You don't really need to worry about it because I primed it with English uniform, but the primer is not really the color I want them to be. If that makes sense. Okay, that should be enough for about 6 or so figures. All right, sir. Where's my paint? Yeah, this guy looks like I might have painted his pants with like a really dark brown. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to bundle these and sell them. Because, FYI, these are all going on sale. Not the 15s. Some of them will be going on sale. Yeah, this is a much better English uniform color. A much gooder color. Now I've got a line of colors up here you can't see, but I dug them out saying, okay, I'm going to need all these colors. I like to do that. That's something that I do before any painting project. I will look at the models and visualize all the different colors for all the different items. And I will pull those colors out and set them aside for that project. And then as I use that color if I don't need it anymore, because maybe it's just a color for all the boots. And once I paint all the boots, I'll put that color back in the rack. And what it kind of does is, as the paint bottles start to disappear off of my little shelf there, it lets me know I'm getting closer and closer to completion. Woo, that scared me. There's an ant. Or I should say, well, he's still alive. There, he's not alive anymore. Okay, that's disgusting. Ant guts. Okay, where'd he go? Okay, well, I was going to say, well, if I killed him with the brush, then I couldn't call the brush a virgin paintbrush anymore. You heard that saying, virgin steel? I don't know if you ever heard that. But basically it means it hasn't drawn blood yet. It's like a sword. But once you cut somebody with it, it's not virgin steel anymore. Yeah, I'm amazed that I missed painting these guys' pants. Either that or I painted it with the same color as the primer. So I was getting excited about painting these Fallschirmjägers, right? Those 15 millimeter. Okay, he's done. The 15 millimeter Fallschirmjägers. I was like, oh yeah, let's do that. Let's bust these out and really start working on them and stuff. And then I said to myself, what am I doing? Get a grip. I still have to finish these British paratroopers. They're primed. I've already begun on them. Let's just finish them before I start with the Fallschirmjägers. And that also gives time for those mortars and machine guns to come in. Okay. All right. Everybody's pants should be done. And see, I had already put this paint away. I had to dig it out. Let's put that away. Okay, we're going to do boots. Boots. That's what we're going to do. But before we do that, I'm going to do the tracks on these 3 vehicles that I neglected to do the last time I was here. Yep. And I've got this track primer ready to go. This track primer is it's a brown, but it's kind of like a rust brown, but not rusty. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of a dirty brown. You would think that brown would be dirty, right? Maybe a little bit of gray involved. It's hard to explain. Now, I don't ever plan to use these M2s personally for my own personal collection. I didn't order these. I didn't ask for these. These came as a mistake. And instead of just leaving them in the box or the bag, because they come as 3 in a bag, Command Decision, Old Glory models, instead of just leaving them in the bag, I had already opened the bag and lost it, threw it away, because I thought they were going to be German mobile wagons, because that's what I ordered. And so I pulled the pieces out and I took the plastic and the little cover, the card, and I tossed it. And then when I went to put these things together, glue the tracks onto the side and stuff like that, I was like, what am I building? These are not mobile wagons. And I said, what are they? And then my time as playing War Thunder, because I played a ton of War Thunder, thousands and thousands of hours of War Thunder, and I play the tanks as well as the planes. And in War Thunder, you start with like early war vehicles, planes and tanks. And as you gain experience, as your tank crews and stuff like that gain experience, you can upgrade and purchase more modern tanks, and you can work your way up the chain. And the M2 is one of those starting tanks. And I was like, okay, this reminds me of the M2, from War Thunder. I wonder if that's really what it is. And did a little research, and yep, that's what it is. So I contacted Old Glory and said, FYI, I got the wrong tanks. What do you want to do? And they said, we'll just send you the mobile wagons that you asked for. And I got them in. And they said, if you're going to Gen Con or something like that, we'll be there. Just bring those tanks with you and give them to us. But if you're not going to Gen Con, don't worry about it. And to be honest with you, I've never been to Gen Con. never, I've always kind of wanted to go just for the experience, but I've never been. Okay, so that's the bottom of the tracks. The bottoms. But now I want to paint the insides of the tracks. I don't know how I'm going to hold this and get to the tracks. Okay, there we go. See, I'm painting the underside of the upper track. Yeah, I've played a lot of War Thunder, but I started playing IL-2, and the airplanes from War Thunder just immediately stopped appealing to me. But IL-2 does have a armored, a tank version where you can drive tanks and stuff like that. And it was pretty cool, but it's not. I think that War Thunder did tanks better. And I think IL-2 does planes better. But I had already uninstalled War Thunder. I haven't played it in probably 2 years. And I've been kind of getting the jonesing to play it. Because remember, I played thousands of hours. I've got some pretty modern tanks. Okay. Past the Pershing, I think I've got like T-32s or something. I don't remember. Interwar. Tankage. It's hard to grip this without crushing the turret gun. It's probably only a, I wanted to say 2-pounder, but it's like a 37 probably. Okay. Probably painting off camera, but that's okay. I'm keeping the models close to my chest so that my arms don't shake. All right. Last one. Yeah, I was going to basically just kind of alternate or, as my fancy paint the tanks in between different colors on the paratroopers. Okay. Last track. Now I usually put like a pretty heavy brown or dark brown, oily brown washes in the whole track compartment. And I usually put like mud or something like that in there as well. Uh, so it kind of disguises any mistakes that you might have made painting this track base. Okay, those tracks are done. I can actually take this and put this away, but it's not here, it's up there. Okay. The next color I want to do is the boots for these guys, and it's a combination of black and brown. So I think I'm going to use black brown. I think I want to use black brown, which for some reason I didn't have pulled out. Okay, so what that means is now I'm panicking, and I'm going to look at my reference sheets and see if or what would be a more appropriate color. I'm going to throw this away because it probably has ant guts on it. Why is this not focused? I mean, this is focused, but why is this not focused? Hold on. Did I disable the autofocus? I probably did. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I don't even have it turned on. Look at that. The color just immediately changed. Okay. Why is it throbbing like that? We'll just leave it there and turn autofocus off. Okay. Let me pull up my reference. Right. That guy is wrong. That's wrong. Okay, this guy shows polished black boots. Nope. I know it wouldn't be that. They might have been new in the box. They might have been black. Okay, he's wearing black. He's wearing black. He's got black. Okay. Okay. Wait, okay, here we go. This guy's got black. This guy's got brown. They're standing right next to each other. The officer is wearing brown for some reason. And second lieutenant wearing brown. Yeah, what the hell? I'm looking at a totally like a toy soldier page, and it's showing all the infantry in black, and there's two officers and they have brown boots. Is that a thing? Did they have different color boots for the officers? I wouldn't think so. I would think they'd all be the same. Okay, yeah, they look, almost everybody's got black. Okay, I'll accept that as fact. And that's why I was going to go with a black brown, but I guess I decided I'm not going to go black brown. And that might be why I have German gray up here. Because I can't, but that's usually for the weapons. But it could be for the boots as well. Um, I don't want to paint it black because I want it to be a nuanced black, like maybe a really dark gray, like uh, like something called a black gray, or something called a smoke. That's rubber black. Ooh, that might be a good color. There's also something called dark rubber. No, I want it to be darker than that. And that's why I'm not... Oh, German gray. I also have Dunkel gray, which is kind of a really dark gray. But I want it to be more black than gray. More black than gray. I'm going to use this dark gray because it looks almost black. Okay, let's switch back to my binoculars. Okay, in the bottle, it looks darker, and I've also, on my bottles, I usually put some on the top so I can see what it would look like when it dried. And then over here on the side on the paper. Um, but in there, it kind of looks a little bit too light, too gray. But it probably darkens up when it dries. And now that I've mixed it up, it looks dark. Okay, this should be quick. I'm just going to slap it on the boots. Not really concerned about the gaiters. And it can get on the base. It doesn't matter because that's going to be covered with texture paste. Okay, I feel like that's just not dark enough. I probably should have used the German gray like I was thinking, but I can fix this. Black. I'm going to take a very small drop. And make that dark gray even darker. Deadly dark. Okay, this is going to require a little bit of mixing. That actually looks perfect. See what it looks like on the figure. And remember, because this guy is primed brownish, you know, the English uniform, if I accidentally leave some spot open, like I don't completely cover the boot like I should, it'll be okay having that brown kind of shine through. It could be two reasons. It could be the coloring of the boot has worn off, showing the leather underneath, or it could be dirt gathering on your boot. But of course, while I'm painting, I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to try to cover every little spot as possible. But just in case, the undercoat really helps out. Those look good. So we're going to keep going. We're going to keep driving on with this color, which is a dark gray with a black mix. One reason why I don't like using black just straight up out of the pot is because it takes away from any detail that might be on that model. Yeah, I'm going to redo these boots. It doesn't let the shadowing of the details present themselves. But a gray or anything other than black will let that happen. Now, I've primed models in black before, and I do that to kind of allow for the shadows to present themselves, because when I paint, I leave black in the shadows. It's just two different techniques, two different effects that you're trying to go for. In this case, I'm trying to go for a less stark black. Make it a little German gray probably would have been good. So just to let you guys know, I mean, this is just me just talking smack about stuff. I hate mushrooms. Despise them. If my wife ever makes me a meal and it has mushrooms on it, well, first of all, she should know that I hate mushrooms. I've told her like a million times. But she'll find a recipe and she's not making for just me. She's making for herself and for our son. And so sometimes there will be mushrooms, but I will take those mushrooms and I will pluck them off like with a quickness and just throw them back in the pot, or I will throw them in the trash because I don't want to have anything to do with mushrooms. I don't like the taste. I don't like the texture. I don't like the smell of them. It's yucky, yucky. Okay, having said that, this morning I decided I was going to have some Campbell's Hungry Man, Chunky, whatever it's called, steak and potatoes. It's like canned soup. You know what I'm talking about. It's called steak and potatoes. Open the can, put it in, microwave. I cooked it up. I brought it over here to my table, and I was going to eat while I got ready for the stream and everything. Started eating, and voila, there were mushrooms. So I took probably 10 minutes going through my bowl, meticulously locating these mushrooms and pulling them out. And then I said to myself, well, that explains why this steak and potatoes taste like crap. Because I'm tasting these mushrooms, or the mushroom juice or whatever. So I dumped a bunch of hot sauce in it and drove on. But that's me. That's probably the one thing in the world that I don't like to eat, and that's mushrooms. Or shrimp. I'm not a shrimp person either. It doesn't disgust me or anything, I just don't like them. We went out to eat the other day, and we went to a Chinese buffet. All you can eat. $15. I thought it was pretty good. And my wife got a bunch of shrimp. I'm more of a General Cho's kind of chicken or pepper steak, rice kind of guy. That's me. they had a bourbon chicken thing there, and I was like, oh, delicious. I'm a slow eater. Ever since I got out of the Army, I noticed my eating speed has, over the years, has gone slower and slower. When I was in the Army, I would like inhale and all my food would be gone. Now, I take a bite, I I chew it, I I savor it. I like it's like a fine wine, you know. I take my time when I eat. And so I'm sitting there taking my time eating. Now, of course, I had a full plate, but my wife, she ate the shrimp, went back, got something else. I don't remember what it was. My son, he got a bunch of stuff, ate, went back, got a bunch of stuff, and I was still on my first plate, which was stuffed. Of course, it was like mounded, but I was like, dang, guys, you guys are eating way faster than me. And then they're sitting there while I'm eating, staring at me, like waiting for me to finish. It was kind of, I kind of didn't appreciate it because I probably had another plate in me, but I didn't go refill because these guys were just staring at me, sitting there, wondering if I was ever going to finish. Now, if I reverse the scales and everything, it is true, I was making them wait. But they didn't have to eat as fast as they did. And I wasn't deliberately going slow or trying to savor every bite. It's just I've noticed over the years, as the years have progressed, I have slowed down in everything I do, not just eating. Just a little anecdote. I did go back for a second plate, but it was like a dessert plate just to finish off. I got some bananas or whatever. They have these like bananas, but they cover them with strawberry juice or something like that. Yummy. I could eat those every day. Now, these offensive miniature guns, right? The anti-tank gun and the pack howitzer, they come with a crew. Uh, they come with crew figures, but they come with more crew figures than what you would use in a bolt action game. So I'm thinking I would like to find a place where I could just get the gun and then I could just use these crew on another gun, right? Well, I don't have any 28 millimeter guns lying around. I do have some 15 millimeter guns just lying around, but that won't work. So what I'll probably do is equip the howitzer and the gun with the proper number of crew, and then the excess I'll sell as a crew but without the gun. It'll be like, here's a gun crew, airborne gun crew, no gun included. Yeah, so I just don't know how I'm going to break all these guys up into their various packages, but we'll figure it out. I'm going to figure it out after I paint them, because I don't need to worry about that right now. I just need to worry about it once they're painted. Now, the 28 millimeter Fallschirmjägers that I sold, that I just recently painted and put up on the eBay store, they've all but sold. The only Fallschirmjäger figures I have left, I think, are the wounded. And nobody's probably going to want to buy those. Those are very specialty items. But since they came with the platoon, I went ahead and painted them up. Now my U.S. paratroopers, they didn't sell as fast. The Fallschirmjägers just flew. Then again, I did paint him in the Splinter Monster or whatever it's called. Splinter camo. My wife left so late for work this morning. I thought that she wasn't going to work. But at the last minute, she gathered up all of her stuff and left. I don't know if you know this, but she works as a substitute teacher. And what was going through my mind was there was probably no need for a sub today. But she mentioned something like on any given day, there's like 130 substitute positions available. And I was like, damn, that's a lot. I wouldn't think there'd be that many teachers in total. But no, we've got at least a dozen schools. Nah, more than that. Because we got junior high and high and elementary. So yeah, we probably got like 36 or more schools. And then each school probably has uh, 30 teachers, maybe? I don't know how many. So let's just go 30 times 30. What is that, 900 teachers? So I can imagine 100 teachers calling out. Seems like a high number, but high percentage. But what can you do? And she's a sub, and so she goes in and fills those slots. And they're getting ready to go to summer break. So there's not going to be any sub positions in the next month or so. So she's taking this opportunity to get her knee replaced. I'm like, yikes. She's going to get a She'll become a bionic woman. I don't know if they're putting in a plastic hinge or what are they doing. I don't know. She's got 2 appointments. She'll have to travel down to Nashville and talk to the doctor that's performing the surgery. And he's going to tell her, what's expected of her and what she can expect after the surgery and all that stuff. Sign the papers and stuff. And my understanding is it's a go down to Nashville, have the surgery, and then go home. Right? It's not spend the night in the hospital. And I learned my lesson when I had my toe amputated. The doctor said I could do the surgery in my office and then I could just send you home. And the hospital said, no. We want him to spend the night here. And not really knowing any better, not really understanding what was going on. What was going on was the hospital was robbing me. I could have taken the doctor up on his offer, had the surgery done in his office, and then gone home. But instead, I had to spend the night in the hospital. Which means I had to pay like 30 grand. Think about this. 30 grand to use the operating room and spend the night in the hospital. It would have been 5 to 10 grand if I did it in the office and went home. But I wound up paying, well, more than 40 grand. And I'm still paying on that. I've got like a monthly installment that I'm paying. They actually came to me and they said, if you pay half of it up front, we'll just drop the other half. And I was like, you think I got 20 grand just lying around where I can pay you? They're like, sure you do. You don't know who I am. I don't make millions of dollars. And this was back when I was working at Best Buy. I went home, for like a month. I had this bandage on my foot And I had to go in one day to the office to have the stitches removed. And, they check on the foot and all that. And in the meantime, I'm working at Best Buy. I'm still working. And I remember the store manager like, yeah, if you want to work, come in. You don't have to, but if you want to, we can use you. And I was like, yeah, I want to work. So I came in and they put me in a wheelchair. And I ran around the store in a wheelchair. I was a sales associate in the computer department. So I would talk to customers about the best option for their computers. If they were looking to upgrade or if they needed a brand new computer or whatever, I would talk to them. And I would explain to them what each of the computers could do and what it couldn't do. And that's not so hard to do in a wheelchair. I could just roll around and talk to customers. It wasn't too bad. If I needed to climb a ladder or something, I would just get one of my associates and say, hey, dude, could you help me out? I got this printer up here I need to grab. And everybody was accommodating. I don't know if you've ever worked at Best Buy, but that was probably one of, if not the best places to work. Well, for me anyway, oh my gosh, I got black everywhere. Hold on. I must have got careless. Okay, all clean. I basically got a big black spot on his pants. Okay, we're almost out. I probably should refill that. Instead of using dark gray and black, I'm going to use German gray. Or maybe I'll just use smoke. Okay, this is starting to look really gray. Okay. I'm not using this dark gray. You jinxed me. Okay. Okay, I'm going to use this black. No. I'm going to use this German gray, like I said. And I just want to see. I'm just going to put a drop and see what the difference is. See if it's something I need to work with. Okay. Yep. German gray looks like it's exactly what I wanted in the first place. That's probably why I had it out. In the light, it looks too gray. I want it to be blacker than that. Okay. It needs to be blacker than that. That's what she said. Okay. So let's try. Let's try this black gray. Let's see if you look darker. Okay, it's got kind of a weird look to it. I don't know. Might darken up as it dries. Hmm. Yeah, this German gray is darkening up as it dries. This black gray, the black gray and the German gray look almost identical. And once I put the wash on, it's going to darken it up as well. And that's another reason why I don't want to use black, because if you put a wash, like a black wash or something like that, and it settles down into the cracks and crevices, if you're putting it on top of black, you're basically not doing anything. If that makes any sense. But if it's gray, and you, even if it's a dark gray, and you put a black wash on there or a dark wash, you'll actually get a benefit. Should I reach in there? I'm going to. Yeah, these snipers, one of the spotter, you can just barely see his boot between his legs. But I decided I'm going to paint it. Yeah, I think this black gray actually works. It goes on looking kind of like a blue gray, but it darkens up into a black when it dries. Pretty cool. Chemistry is pretty cool. Okay, let me see if I can get down inside there. Give the okay. Really? A little bit of flash in there. I must have missed when I cleaned them up the first time I went through. All right. I noticed everybody's really quiet today. And that is okay. So I've been watching some videos of Partisan, which I guess is a convention in England. Bunch of games being played. I noticed that Oathmark had a game. Somebody ran an Oathmark game. It was undead against, I think it was orcs. I'm not sure. But I definitely saw the skeletons. There was like a Battlefleet Gothic game played in large scale. Like one of the cruisers was a 3 foot long. Um, I'm definitely 100% not interested at all in Battlefleet Gothic. Even when I was a big Warhammer 40K fanatic, I still didn't play Battlefleet Gothic. I just thought it was stupid. Stupid. I mean, the lore in 40K is stupid. The mechanics are okay. The models are beautiful until they started ruining them. So I found my roads, all my previous road builds that I made, and I found my cobblestone roads. I've got about 3 feet of cobblestone road, 3 1-foot sections. And I compared it to the cobblestone paper that I recently bought, thinking I was going to make some more cobblestone roads, maybe some curves and maybe some intersections, maybe some town squares, that kind of stuff. And I compared uh, they're exactly the same pattern and style, but the scale is different. The one I had used was HO, and the one in the pack was N, because I thought N is more like 12 millimeter, and it would um, blend or mesh better with my 10 millimeter buildings for the built up areas. But roads are not necessarily, or the paper I was getting was not necessarily for the built up areas. It was for roads. And the N scale just looks way too small. And HO looks perfect. Even though it's probably a little bit too big, hey, heroic scale. It looks good. Okay, I need some light. I need light. Give me some light. I got to angle this just right where I can see what I'm doing. Okay. So I've decided that I'm just going to go ahead and sell the N scale um, cobblestone roads. I'm just going to put it on the site. Somebody might be interested in them. Railroaders or 12 mil gamers. And then I might go back and order some HO cobblestones. Um, yeah, for 15 millimeter, I think HO works out really well. Because I got some HO fences and not hedges too. I got some fences, and they look like they're the right scale. Now the HO buildings, they're not the right. Just minor things like fences and walls and hedges and apparently cobblestones for your road. Hard to tell. That could be a little foot sticking out, but I'm not going to paint it. Because it's just a very small little detail that you would never see. And it's probably going to get covered by texture paste anyway. One of these guys, the guy in my hand, he looks a lot like Sean Connery. What would that be? That'd be Urquhart, right? That's General Urquhart. A bridge too far. That was a good movie. I liked it. Another movie I liked was The Longest Day. Those are two classic war movies. They don't make them like that anymore. They're all woke nowadays. You know, trying to focus on the woman warrior. Okay. Now, let me just kind of briefly go over these figures in my head. See if anybody needs any black boots, like maybe I missed somebody or something. Doesn't look like I did. Everybody looks good. Yep, everybody looks good, except for him. I'm going to give him brown boots because he's in a U.S. uniform. Okay, so that black gray works. Okay, this rot brown is the boot brown that I use for my paratroopers. That should be sufficiently agitated. We should only need one little drop. Boop, there we go. Okay, his brown boots are not done. Hold on. Yeah. Yep. They're done. All right, guys, it's 11:30. We're going to call it. I was getting ready to go to the flesh to the face. That was going to be my next color, but I'm going to put a pause in this. I'm going to eat some lunch, and then I'm going to get ready for my Traveler game. And then if I got time after that, then I'll go back to painting, but it'll be off stream. I probably will be able to be on tomorrow, so come back around 9 o'clock. That's about usually when I start. But if you like and subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the notification bell when I do go live, you'll get a notification that I've gone live so you can jump on here and hang out with me. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow.